The summer rolls on and heats up as we take a visit to Hampton, Virginia for this next installment of the SARA Impel Motorsports National Tour. The Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat 200 sits ahead, and over 30 late model stock sim racers are ready to take on that challenge. Buckle up, 225 laps lie ahead. Welcome to the virtual pit stop, virtual Hampton, Virginia, the real Pit Stop TV. I do that every once in a while. My name is Andrew Cardinale the fourth. I can't talk today, Zach. We're off to a bad start. If I can't get through my intro, I'm scared for what's going to happen on the racetrack. But we have Zach Murtis along with me. It's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the Sim Model Racing Association Impel Motorsports National Tour for the Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat 200. Tonight's coverage is, as you saw, brought to you by Throneburg Construction, Impel Motorsports, and by Whiplash Sim Cams. We can take a look here, Zach, and this is where I'll turn things over to you and hopefully right the ship here, because Langley Speedway is a really cool racetrack, 4 corners, but it's real flat.
Absolutely, and I love how the SARA Super Series, or not the SARA Super Series, but the SARA Series, the Impel Motorsport National Tour, likes to take on these national events. We got a lot of drivers in this field that are competitors in real race cars that have run at this racetrack before, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, you've got the real Hampton Heat coming up this weekend as well at Langley Speedway. So this is kind of a precursor. We get to give you guys a great precursor for how these late model stock cars are going to take on this racing facility. And Langley is interesting because it's almost a freaking circle. Like the straightaways are very short, the corners are long and winding, so you're spending more time out of the throttle really than you are spending time on the throttle here. So it's also flat. It's an incredibly flat racetrack. It doesn't have a lot of banking. So you've really got to be able to manage those right side tires, especially that right front. You can really step on the power of these late model stock cars, but on these flat corners, you gotta keep it easy. You're pretty much constantly turning the car as well. I mean, they crest at the start-finish line and halfway down the back straightaway before going into these corners, and they're already turning to start their corners. So it's a really, really tricky track to handle sometimes. In my opinion, it is one of these racetracks that we do consider a true oval, because it's pretty much a symmetrical oval. Maybe a little bit of a difference on the front straightaway, but it's got a great layout to it, Andrew. It's the third round here on the schedule for these guys in the Impel Motorsport National Tour, and I think we're going to be in for one heck of a show. This is one of my favorite tracks on the schedule.
And this schedule is pretty darn diverse. We talked about it last week at Slinger. We flip-flop a lot between late model stock cars and super late models here on the schedule. We've seen late model stocks already used at South Boston. We saw the super used last week at Slinger. We're back in the late model stock here today at Langley. Back in the super next month when we go to Oxford. Back in the late model stock at Martinsville in September. And then we've got the super for 2 races in a row at Nashville for the All-American 300. And then subsequently at Five Flags for the Fall Raw 250. Then back in the late model stock car for the Privateer Race Parts Thanksgiving Classic at Southern National Motorsports Park. So flip-flopping between the 2 premier late models in the country, back in the late model stock of the 2 here this evening. Practice is coming to a close and is currently led by a former driver world championship driver. That would be Daniel Pope II. He's atop the speed charts in car number 11. There he goes back on the racetrack in his number 11 late model stock car, and we'll see what he can do. Pretty cool, by the way, to have Daniel Pope here in this field. And we have, what's that? I see you. Hang on. Stand by. There we go. There is Daniel Pope's number 11. It is pretty cool to have multiple former Driver World Championship drivers within this SARA rank of drivers. Daniel Pope and some others have kind of run their rounds on the sim, I suppose, have kind of been there, done that as the years have gone by. But practice will come to a close, and Pope is the fastest, followed by Trevor Edwards, Justin Brooks, Alex McCullum, and Josh Parrish, your top 5. Now, as we get off into the qualifying race session this evening, we do want to bring points up real quick. They look very different from the week prior, and I don't want to talk about these too much just yet, because these are going to change a lot. Until we get that drop weekend here, we don't really have a good picture of who is where in the standings, but Cole Cabry is atop the standings at the moment with Cameron Hamilton 10 back. Joel Smith up in third. I gotta say, impressive stuff there from Car 24. Daniel Pope in fourth, Alex McCullum fifth. All very impressive. And I see my mistake here on the graphic. I awarded Cole Cabry the Slinger win and not Alex McCullum. I'll fix that next week. Regardless, that's a look at the standings, at least. The standings of the championship points column, I guarantee you those are right. I'm not so sure about that win column and how that got messed up. But here we go. Daniel Pope hitting the racetrack as you see some times flowing in on the speed chart. Let's see where car number 11 can go. This qualifying session, a bit different from weeks prior. At South Boston and Slinger, we ran it as single car qualifying. We got to see everybody go on the racetrack. Here tonight, we're just doing the classic iRacing qualifying where everybody's on the track at the same time in their own little worlds.
And 25 cars are going to lock into the show tonight based on these qualifying times, Andrew. And based on Daniel Pope's practice times, I would consider him a shoe-in to lock in on time. 3 times set on the board. The bar right now is Josh Parrish with a 15.50, but that's going to change as Petter goes to the top of the board, a 15.43. Cabry right behind him in a 15.46. And then we've got Daniel Pope in a 15.47. He's still on the racetrack right now, completing his second lap. Dante Curtis is going to come across the line, taps the wall. I don't think that lap's going to count right there, Andrew.
Chris Horton, how about Horton? Here's a who right to the top of the board. Oh my goodness, car 42 looking quick here in qualifying. A lot of cars left to go though, so we won't sing his praises too early. Here's AJ Rogers on the racetrack in car number 17. The Apex Sim Racing Ford Mustang Dark Horse loops around turn number 4 and will complete his first lap of qualifying. Cody Kelly goes to the top of the board, and we know he can get it done in a late model stock at a Virginia racetrack, but can he do it here? McCullum right to the top now in car number 1.
You said it before. What is there? Hold on. Wait a second. Is there nothing Alex McCullum can't do in a late model stock car? There it is. I got it. Took me a second, but I got it. But as we get into the last half of this qualifying session, it's 5 minutes long. These guys have already turned about 2.5 minutes worth of laps, Andrew. Now we're starting to see where that cut line is falling into place. If you look on your ticker, ladies and gentlemen, as these guys are ticking off their laps, Matt Rolfe on the racetrack right now, the driver on the cut is Rolfe right now. He's sitting in the 25th position. The last car to lock in on qualifying times, and there's only a few drivers left to set a qualifying time. You have Casey Kelly, Steele Langford, Curtin Church, Hamlin, and Grout right now on the racetrack trying to get their laps in. Langford goes across the line, and he knocks out the double zero, or just the zero car of Matt Rolfe, puts him down. Kyle Meyer is now on the cut line.
Casey Kelly now on the racetrack along with Kieran Church. Kelly's first lap did not count. Kieran Church's first lap, let's see what it is for the number 22. That is good enough to be in the show on time. How about Casey Kelly across the stripe? Is it good enough to advance straight in? It is, and that bumps Keith Jeffrey into the heat race, if you will. Church comes across the line and will cool things down. So that was the other part that we had to get into, Zach. I'm glad you started talking about it. The Whiplash SimCam's race details. Let's take a look at them. Oh, we doubled up apparently. I'll fix that real quick. Because that actually shows, well, it shows the right thing. I guess I double tapped the Control V earlier when I was setting that up. So stand by, doing it live. There we go. That should edit there. There we go. Single qualifying, 2 laps. 25 will advance. That's what I needed to get to. That 25 in parentheses is 25 advanced straight from qualifying. Then we have a 25 lap LCQ / heat race, whatever you want to call it, that will advance 3 more drivers, setting up for 28. Then 2 provisionals will also lock in, making it a 30 car field for a 200 lap race. We'll have a break at lap 100. Cautions will not count, and then the rest is as normal, open set, fast fix, 2 green-white checkers if needed. So far in qualifying, actually one more car has made it into the qualifying session. Didn't expect this. A buzzer beater lap time maybe out of Jake Grout. Can he get there? Car 49. He
knocked
will.
out Cameron Hamilton. I was watching his laps while you were taking a little run through there, Andrew, and he threw away his first lap. He had to go back into the pits, reset, and refocus on cold tires. One lap, got it done. He doesn't need to go out there and qualify on the pole. He just needed to get it in the show. What a lap.
So he will just make it in the top 25 cutoff. Blake Throneburg also makes the cutoff there inside the top 25 by moving on in 25th position. That means the first car out that has to go through this LCQ/heat race will be Cameron Hamilton, followed up by Keith Jeffrey. Here's a look at the Lucky Performance starting grid for our LCQ/heat race. Hamilton and Jeffrey on the front row, then Kyle Meyer and Matt Rolfe. This number 0 car is not used to being this far back, hoping he's got a better race setup underneath that Ford Mustang. Starting 5th will be Justin Crowe, 6th Eric Tracy, back in 7th and 8th Kyle Souza and Cody Dempster, followed up by AJ Rogers and Devin Rogers, the Rogers at the back of the field here in the LCQ, followed up only by Daryl Hamlin. He often will make it into the session but does not race, which makes me wonder if he's helping out race control possibly this evening, but he is listed on the grid for now. I want to take a look at weather conditions. Didn't get to do so there in qualifying, but the Cody Williams design weather conditions here, race weather here, 87.7 degrees in the air, 101 down on the track, Zach. And you can see we did just catch an errant cloud to cool things down a little bit, but still pretty warm out there.
Absolutely. 101 track temp is a very, very slick racetrack, so I would assume these guys are going to be just a wee bit loose, just a tad out of shape, but we'll have to see how it goes with these drivers right now. I don't want to say I'm completely concerned about the track temp. I like where the ambient temp is at. I like the 87.7. It's a solid temperature to be at. It's hot, but it's solid. I think these guys are going to have their work cut out for them, but at the same time, I think they're in a really good spot. I think they've got a great racetrack to bring in with this heat race. I think they've got the ability, well, LCQ race that is, and I think they've got the ability to get it done. I think we're going to see some guys shake it up in 25 laps, and hopefully by the end of these 25 laps, we'll see those top 3 cars that we know can be in there in the show. And I'm really surprised, Andrew, I want to kind of segue into this, just how the skill level transitions over from the super late model that we saw last week into the late model stock car. There are a lot of guys who are running in this late model stock car that are a lot better in this, in this style of car than they are in the super late model. 2 different types of cars. They look the same, but they're inherently different. And you've got guys like Matt Rolfe who are in this LCQ that qualified really, really good inside the top 10 last week. So the skill difference, or at least the transition between these 2 cars, is really prevalent right now.
While these guys do their couple of pace laps here before the race, I want to bring up this camera. We're going to see drivers under caution selecting, if I can. I thought I could draw here. Why is it not letting me draw? Well, anyways, even though I can't draw, yeah, it's not letting me draw, but if you stay on the racetrack during cautions later today, that will be choosing the outside lane. The bottom lane will be the apron here on the back straightaway between turns 2 and turn 3. Just worth being aware about, even though it's not going to affect us here on the initial start of this LCQ. It's worth noting as the race goes on. Here we go into the restart zone. We are racing in the Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat. One lap complete from the green flag, and the green number 88 moves into second place. Kyle Meyer on the move already. He'll pass up Keith Jeffrey and move up into the second spot. Of course, only 3 drivers transition out of this race into the feature race, then 2 will get provisionals. Those 3 spots are going to be uber valuable here.
Kyle Meyer gets quick time on the board right now. Your top 3 at the moment, Hamilton, Meyer, and Jeffrey. The first car out, that's Justin Crowe, and he is knocking on the back door of Keith Jeffrey right now. He took a good look to the inside and got up a little bit as Hamilton sets the purple lap time. And look at right here on board with Justin Crowe staring down the back bumper of that number 88 Keith Jeffrey. And 25 laps is going to run out real quick here, Andrew. You got to be on it. You got to be in it. And someone like Matt Rolfe, who we expected to be a lot quicker, he's fallen way down the running order.
Yeah, Matt Rolfe is not getting along with this racetrack at all. Devin Rogers, the lone driver to have gone to the garage already, he is out and in 10th. Here's Matt Rolfe down in 8th. The 17 of A.J. Rogers tried to get by him, might have gotten by for a moment, but Rolfe now gets back by the number 17 car and has a lot of work to do. That was 20 laps to go that last time by. Make it now 19, and he is down in 8th position, make it 7th across the stripe.
Cody Dempster set the fastest lap of the race just a few laps ago. He looks like he could try and put that car a little bit further up the running order. He's sitting currently in that 6th spot. He's 3 spots out. He's the next car up on Matt Rolfe. You can see the separation between these 2 cars. But it's just this line of 6 cars that we're looking at right here, Andrew. Dempster being the back of it. You're right on board with Kyle Souza. He's staring down the back bumper of Justin Crowe, who's trying to fight his way into the show and not have to rely on that one provisional to get into the race. Because who knows who's going to get that provisional, Andrew? You never know who is going to sneak away and get that last spot. So you can't rely on it. You got to get all you can, as we've got 16 laps to go at the line.
Yeah, I'm not entirely clear on what the exact criteria is for that provisional spot, but those 2 spots will be awarded at race control's discretion based on their rules and such. I'd imagine Matt Rolfe will be in line for one of those provisionals. I'm not sure about the other one, but we'll have to wait and see as the evening builds here. Watching the transfer battle. The number 88 of Keith Jeffrey holding on to that last spot over Justin Crowe for the time being. Who knows, though, as these laps wind down, these bumpers might become optional. They could be used to make a position here and get into the feature.
You see Crowe got really loose on exit off the turn number 4, and center rotation seems to be in the 86's favor. But watch corner exit. Look at that separation right there. You see how much Jeffrey is able to pull off of corner exit on that 86 car, just right to the bumper, and there they go, off exit. Jeffrey just gets about 1 car length on him and is able to pull away, and that, I think, is going to be the best quality to have here at Langley right now. Corner exit is key, absolutely, at this racetrack, especially if you're dipping those left sides below that yellow line and really using the flat part of the racetrack. A couple drivers tap the wall there, but another reason I love these LCQ type races, Andrew, is we get to focus on more than just a race for the lead. Whatever's going on, we get to see some really exciting battles. The guy who's going to win the race, I don't even really consider him the winner of the race. You consider the guys that transferred in, fought for that transfer spot to be the winner of these types of races.
And of course, Justin Crowe would like to be that last car transferring in by position here in this LCQ race. Still working over Keith Jeffrey, not able to get by just yet as we watch on from the fan cams here at Langley Speedway. Across the stripe, you can see a battle sparking up now for that 4th spot. Here comes Kyle Souza. He looked to the inside that last time through 3 and 4, falls back out through 1 and 2. But you can tell Souza's trying to get going and might be getting held up just a little bit by that 86 car. We could have a true fight on our hands these last few laps.
I think Souza and Dempster definitely have some pace right now. You see Cody Dempster all the way down to the yellow line and in contact. That was some insane racing. Souza knows that Cody Dempster has a car underneath him to go and get that transfer spot, but he can't give it up. Now looking to the inside, Cody Dempster, he's getting pinched all the way down to the grass, but Souza can't fight for very much longer. What a defensive drive out of the 7. Now Matt Rolfe is going to jump inside of Cody Dempster.
Rolfe will get there, and that'll hold up the 24 even further. So let's move up to the front of the field then. As these laps wind down in our LCQ, we are still going to hand out a race win in about 5.5 more laps, and it looks like it might be going to Cameron Hamilton. He's led the entire race so far in this little LCQ heat race over Kyle Meyer, Keith Jeffrey, and a lot of them. So watch out for this number 10 potentially to have a better race setup than what he qualified with, and potentially make some moves later on in this event. For now, though, 4 laps to go, leading the way in the LCQ heat race.
I think Hamilton and Jeffrey have just been in a good spot, and they've really just decided to be patient with each other as the fight for the transfer spot. That is still up for grabs. Keith Jeffrey has held on to it all race long. Kyle Souza has now fallen into the foreground with Matt Rolfe getting by Cody Dempster. So now Justin Crowe is fully on attack mode. No defense, no trying to hang on. He's got to go and get that 88 car and try to get himself into the show. See what he can do. Popsicle sticks in the air, Andrew. It's 2 laps to go. Who's going to get that transfer spot?
The battle's starting to fall apart a little bit. Keith Jeffrey driving just a little bit away from Justin Crowe in that number 86 car. You can see the room now between 3rd and 4th, and Souza up the racetrack in 5th. That will quiet things down at the transfer line. So up ahead, it's all Cameron Hamilton and Kyle Meyer. We expect it to stay that way here through the final couple of corners as you get the white flag brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams for the first time tonight. And checkered flag there at the stripe. Cameron Hamilton will advance along with Kyle Meyer and Keith Jeffrey, and we await admin word on who the provisionals will go to. Daryl Hamlin, by the way, never made the call for that LCQ heat race, but Hamilton, Meyer, and Jeffrey will move on, leaving a group of 7 to either receive the word that they'll be transferring in by provisional or receive word that they are done for the day. And Zach, I'd imagine that call should be going out really any time now in the sim.
Yeah, just waiting for race control to give us a quick update on who is going to be advancing in on the provisional. Not hearing much word at the moment. Race control is just trying to get things situated after the LCQ, it would seem, but we do know for certain that based off of the LCQ, Hamilton, Jeffrey, and Meyer, they're in. Matt Rolfe being the first car out. Excuse me. I was looking at a different screen on my end. Excuse me, but oh. So, just got word, based off of the National Tour points, there's going to be 2 provisionals. It's going to Justin Crowe and Matt Rolfe.
There you go, Justin Crowe and Matt Rolfe. And so it sounds like it's based on the points, then we can review those points and see that Rolfe is nearly in that top 10. I'm not so sure about, I'm looking. I don't see him actually on, yeah, that's Justin Brooks. I don't see Justin Crowe, but I know he had a decent round 1 back at South Boston, so I'd imagine he's not far off this screen and ahead of most of, I guess, the rest of these drivers here that would be up for moving in through the provisional. So Justin Crowe and Matt Rolfe will do a couple of laps around the speedway while these guys do their provisional laps, as we've come to know them as. Let's take a look at the partners here of the Sim Auto Racing Association. All Pro Late Model Tour, Cody Williams Design, Corey Bodie Motorsports, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Dylan Bates Racing, Fast AF Designs, Hyde's Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, Matthews Designs, 1-8 Coffee Company, 1-8 Racing Media, Patriot Media and Marketing Services, Pedley's Garage Incorporated, Pierce Fleet Service, Race1Wraps.com, RJW21 Management, RS Center Trucking, SARA Next Gen Templates, SimRapMarket.com, Toxic Media Solutions, and Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes. I also want to give an nod to our partners here at the channel: Whiplash Sim Cams, ATVOs, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. And of course, we're going to be on the lookout here today for the Lucky Performance Lucky Break of the day, so keep an eye out for what might seem lucky to you, and let us know on the YouTube chat what you feel like was the lucky break of the day over the course of today's feature race. And of course, we'll be looking out for the driver of the day vote as well, brought to you by the North American Racing League. That vote always held on YouTube. Zach, as we watch these consolation laps take place between Crowe and Rolfe, I'm a little concerned about Matt Rolfe, but I want to focus up at the front of the field. We've got a lot going on in the back, and these guys will be managing their race from back there, but at the front, who do you feel like has the biggest advantage through qualifying and whatnot?
Biggest advantage through qualifying. Take a look back through the results of qualifying real quick. I would have to say, you can't not go with Alex McCullum. I mean, you can't. The man is on pole. He is exceptionally good in a late model stock car here on the iRacing.com sim. He's had extensive experience in a multitude of cars, including legend cars like myself. So he's got an insane amount of background. He's got an insane amount of laps on the sim. I feel like he's got a great advantage, but I also wouldn't count out all the guys, at least inside, I want to say, the top 8 that are starting on the inside line. So you've got Alex McCullum first in line on the bottom. Second in line on the bottom, you've got Justin Brooks. Right behind him, you've got Chris Horton, and then behind him, you've got Kyle Turzak. Those are 4 guys that know exactly how to get it done in the SARA series. They know exactly what they're doing. They've had a lot of great runs in previous races. I think you got to watch out for him as Alex McCullum tops the board here in this warm-up section.
I, of course, like the pick of Alex McCullum. It's hard to pick against him. I am going to try and pick against him just to go against the grain a little bit. I'm going to go Trevor Edwards. I know he had pace in practice. I don't actually recall exactly where he qualified. You can enlighten me here in a second, but I don't know. He needs something to get going for him, Trevor Edwards does. He's had a bunch of bad races as of late and just needs something to go right. Maybe today's his day.
You might be right. Trevor Edwards qualified 8th. So he is starting up inside the top 10. And, you know, one driver that we noted earlier in the session, Andrew, we noted Daniel Pope II. He is starting down in the 16th position. He was top of the board in practice. He is a former iRacing Drivers World Champion. He has got extensive knowledge here.
Well, Drivers World Champion driver.
Well, Drivers World Championship driver. The DWC on the pro licenses.
I don't actually know all of his accolades and accomplishments, so I don't want to throw out the champion word lightly, just in case. I actually just learned he was a DWC driver today, thanks to a DJ EJ video that I saw earlier today about Sandeep. I forget his last name. Regardless,
just watching that today.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw Daniel Pope in that, and I saw some other drivers from the series in that event, that YouTube video. So, anyways, I digress. We'll get back here to the picture. Definitely some drivers worth watching out for. While these guys run these warm-up laps, I want to take a look at one more time at the weather conditions because the track temp has come down significantly. The ambient temp is only down a couple of degrees here, Zach. Mostly cloudy skies still. The wind's still about the same mile per hour. It's gotten more humid. The track is cooling down. It's going to be a grippy racetrack, I think.
I think you might be right. I think as the temp continues to go down, I mean, it's dropped almost a full 10 degrees. The ambient temp has gone down by 2 degrees. I think everything's just kind of slowly working itself in. Obviously, you saw the track temp jump up there to 93 again, went up, a full degree. So there's definitely some added benefits to the track cooling off, and it's going to grip up a little bit more. And I think these guys are going to have to figure out in their setups how they want to roll it and how they want to be able to head into this race. But Andrew, warm-up's over. It's done with the LCQ. We have our provisional drivers, or 2 starting at the back. Now it's time to run through this field of 30 cars starting in Hampton Heat tonight here on the iRacing.com sim.
30 cars ready to go. Before we get started, I want to take a quick look at what's upcoming for us here at Pits.TV. Next up, it's the Major Series on Sunday at Homestead Miami Speedway. Then next week, we have the Luke's Playhouse 200 at Auto Club Speedway with NASCAR Xfinity Series cars, followed up by the second round of the North American Racing League GT3 Series Season number 8. With that quick look out of the way, let's take a look at the starting grid this evening for what we have on hand here tonight. Alex McCullum, no invert to mess him up here tonight. He will be starting from the very front of the field in position number 1. Jacob Harberts rolls off from the second spot. Justin Brooks, Cody Kelly in row number 2. Back in row 3, it's Chris Horton. He's from this side of the country. He's run here at Langley before. Let's see what he can do from 5th spot. Tracy Petter from 6th. Starting 7th, it's Kyle Turzak. Trevor Edwards from 8th. Josh Cottle, Mitch Strudnowski, your top 10.
Rolling through the rest of the field, you've got Cole Cabry starting 11th, still Langford his outside in the 12th spot. 13th and 14th on the grid, you'll find Joel Smith and Casey Kelly. 15th and 16th, Parker Traves and Daniel Pope II. 17th and 18th, you'll find Blake Massengale and Dante Curtis. And then 19th and 20th, you'll find RJ Williams and Josh Parrish rolling off in row number 10.
Starting 21st, back in row 11, it's Dallas Pataska from the Majors Garage alongside Spencer Dickinson. Followed up by Kieran Church and Jake Grout. And finally, Blake Throneburg. Those are the 25 drivers that just made it in on time. Cameron Hamilton won the LCQ Heat race, followed by Kyle Meyer and Keith Jeffrey. And Justin Crow and Matt Rolfe each transferred in through the provisionals. Once again, Whiplash Cam's race details. We had single 2-lap qualifying to lock 25 drivers straight in. Then that 25-lap LCQ heat race that transferred 3 more provisionals, brought 2 more into the field. It's a 200-lap race to the break at lap 100. Cautions don't count this evening. The open setup, no fast fix, 2 green-white checkered formula moves on this evening. No changes there, and we should be coming to the green, if not this next time, the time after that. Zach, I want to circle back. We're going to talk about a lot tonight. Weather conditions. That ambient temp keeps dropping ever so slightly. Now down to 84.8 degrees. Track temp down to 87. And that humidity staying in the 50s.
Yeah, I can't stress enough how this track temp is really going to affect these guys and how they roll. But as we get ready to roll here, Andrew, we should be going green relatively soon for these drivers. Waiting, I see the lights are out on top of the pace car, but I'm not seeing the pace car make that hard left turn onto the pit lane. And this is the other thing that I really was thinking about, especially after the LCQ. These guys are right up on that pace car, and as soon as that pace car turns on a pit road, it is such a quick trip to the restart box, and it immediately throws the green flag. So these guys are pretty much on their toes from the second the green flag drops. But hopefully, you should be seeing it getting ready here soon. These guys are lined up and ready to go.
Here we go into the restart zone. The Throneburg construction Hampton heat is officially underway. Green flag here at Langley. A clean opening lap aside from a couple of Kelly brothers getting the outside wall, both in the front straightaway. Cody, then Casey, and now a caution at the back. Kieran Church turned around, Kyle Meyer as well, and it looks like the other 22 of Blake Throneburg is in trouble.
2 laps into this event, we got our first caution, and there you see the right front damage on that number 22 racing machine at Throneburg. He's going to keep it on the racetrack, though. Pits may be closed right now anyway, so he's going to keep it out there. See if he can't lip it around. Let's take a look at the replay, Andrew. See what happened to these guys. There's a big stack up in the back there. You see Spencer Dickinson on the outside. See everyone just trying to fall in line, gets to the bottom, and it's stacked up, and you just see the accordion effect right there.
And I went back and watched a little bit of last year's event, and I saw a lot of exactly this over the course of the race. And it's just guys diving off into the corner, having to check up. It checks up in a hurry. It stacks up really quick. Let's slow it down from here. Just a miscommunication between the 03 of Curtis, the 55 of Parrish, and that leads to a checkup and backs everybody up. Let's back it up one more time. It's so easy to have happen here at a place like Langley. Everybody's clamoring to that very bottom side, and if there's one miscommunication, it throws everything off.
Vernon Church is actually getting the EOL for that. He did take responsibility. And there you see just how much they stacked up. And that allows Spencer Dickinson to just have a quick miss right there. He's looking for a rebound after Slinger. So good job to him for staying out of it. Saw Cameron Hamilton take a little bit of a off-road excursion there. And it looks like these guys are choosing down the back straightaway.
And we did
see a couple of guys.
Did just see that, yeah.
Bottom.
There's the back end of the choose. Now, the rules bulletin that was put out states that these drivers need to stay on the bottom all the way to turn 3. See some drivers kind of just making the choose at the cone there out of turn 2 and then moving up. I'm not sure how race control is going to handle that. I'd imagine there will be some forgiveness given at least the first few times to get these guys in the rhythm of it, but that was the back end of the choose. We see up front, it's McCullum up front on the bottom side, then Brooks, then Harbert down low, Kelly up top, that is Cody Kelly, then Chris Horton down low, and Trevor Edwards up top, your top 3 rows. Here we go, back around to the restart zone, and green flag is back in the air. From high above the Langley Speedway, everybody clamoring for that bottom lane. Justin Brooks finds a spot there in 3rd, and we get that lap complete.
I don't think he wanted to fight with Jacob Harberts for very long on that top line. He jumped right in, stacked up that bottom line, and they are single file racing for a multitude of cars back. The first side-by-side battle is behind them. I believe that's Steele Langford up on the top side, trying to work himself around Tracy Petter. As Justin Brooks sets the quick time of the race, 15.70. Lots of guys taking looks down to the inside. This is just going to be a hornet's nest of a race. These next, I want to say, 15-20 laps as they start to settle into the run. Top three starting to scoot away as Cody Kelly is starting to try and find his way up towards that top three.
Every restart here at Langley tends to be a frenzy. Kyle Terzak down to the inside of Chris Horton. He makes that spot up. That is good for 5th position. Horton drops back into 6th. Trevor Edwards now working from 7th. Tracy Petter in that 8th spot. Josh Cottle, Mitch Jernowski, the remainder of the top 10. And Edwards looks to the inside here of Terzak. He finds some daylight, of Horton rather. Finds some daylight, makes the pass. So Edwards moving forward. Chris Horton headed the wrong direction.
Yeah, he's going to get stuck on that top line. He's losing 2, 3, maybe another 4 spots as he's going to try to slot in line in front of Cole Cabrey. He gets it in there, and he is going to keep moving forward as Cabrey's trying to hold off the battle right behind him. That's Massengale and Joe Smith on the outside of that number 10 car. So Horton lost a lot of ground right there. He went from 8th all the way back to 11. He lost a good considerable amount of ground up to that top 10. But he's going to have to try and fight it off as the car now stuck on the top line. That's going to be Joel Smith. He's trying, oh my goodness, excuse me. He's trying to fight his way in to get single file. So now we've got single file racing throughout at least the top, I want to say 18, 20 cars. As the top 3 right now, they're starting to spread out a little bit. Casey Kelly's falling into the clutches of Trevor Edwards. And Justin Brooks is now kind of in between the top 2 and the cars behind him.
Really a single file for the entire field or so. That is Cody Kelly in the 4th spot, Trevor Edwards 5th. But your top 3, McCullum, Harberts, and Brooks as they run. Harberts, this is a good run out of him so far. And we talked about the new partnership for Alex McCullum going over to Mount Julius C Speed Shop and CFM last week when we went to Slinger, and that was a perennial win for the number 1 car. From working with the shop to working on his own, now over to Mount Julius C Speed Shop. He's bounced around a little bit, but he has become teammates with Jacob Harbert. So these two at the front of the field, likely on same or similar setup, Zach, and that's a new dynamic. We've got used to the shop and Cottle chassis dominance here, but this might be a new season, if you will, a new era even for Matt Julius C Speed Shop in the SARA Super and National Tours.
The times, they are changing.
No,
I tried.
No, I was going to add, I do think the 33 here might be on a similar setup. I think he's in with that group as well. I'm looking for a logo on that car to confirm it, but I want to say he is partnered with those two ahead.
Well, we do have, hold on a second.
Oh, Brooks Speed Shop, the association. So a little bit different. He's still got that JBD logo on the hood. JustinBrooksDesigns.com, of course, but not actually partnered with those two ahead. He's actually from the association, which is interesting in a whole other right, but I'll let you go ahead with your point.
Well, I was going to say, with just how things are shaping up at the moment, it's just turning into kind of a who's who at this point. Like, a lot of these guys, they tend to spend a lot of time in official races as well, with really kind of getting their feet wet and trying to feel out fixed setups, feel out race setups that they might try to make, and, take a look at the front of the field. Let's start with that. Take a look at the front of the field and who the guys that are up there right now. You've got Alex McCullum, who is with CFM, plus his own self-brand, Alex McCullum Race Cars. Then you have the number 80 of Harberts. He's with CFM. So you've got two cars that are on similar setups at the front of the speedway, or at the front of the field. I'm starting to get tongue-tied. You're flipping it over to me, Andrew. But then you've got Justin Brooks, who's sitting in the 3rd spot. He is with the association and Brooks Speed Shop. Then rolling through that top 5, you've got Casey Kelly and Trevor Edwards. They're the next two cars in line, and I'm just going to kind of stop that point in the top 5 before I start rambling too much. but that number 75, Cody Kelly, he's with the association. So you've got 2 cars with CFM, right behind 2 cars with the association, and then Trevor Edwards is with the shop. So you've got 3 different teams represented in that top 5, but you've got some major representation of CFM in those part 2, and then Justin Brooks and Casey Kelly in the association right behind him. So kind of like you can see where these setups are going and who is really hitting the nail on the head right now.
Meanwhile, to that point, there was a good little battle here for 12th spot. Joel Smith and Chris Horton, they've allowed Blake Massengill to actually fight up to the 9th spot ahead of Josh Cottle and Parker Traves. That bumps Traves back out of the top 10. Joel Smith now has taken over at 12th. Chris Horton has dropped into 13th, and Cole Cabry is back here just inside of the top 15 as they run. Meanwhile, also, Casey Kelly and Blake Throneburg do some battles. So the back end of the field starting to heat up here, Zach, is, oh, what a move there from the 22 of Throneburg. He just gets to the inside of R.J. Williams.
This is getting dicey, Andrew. This is what we like to see. Look at that. That 21 car trying to fall in line almost gets hit right there, but it looks like fall in. R.J. Williams on that outside line. He has got Cody Kelly now to his inside. Cameron Hamilton gets clear. 1 car down low, trying to still fight. Who is that? That's Cole Cabry. He's got some right front damage on that race car.
Does he?
At least it looked like it. It looked like he had some right front damage.
No, that's the main scheme. So, yeah, he's added those donuts in post. To make it look like it's been worn out and used up, but no damage yet on that 54 in the sim. So interesting stuff going on there that he's dropping back. We also saw Throneburg rocket through the Trooper cars. He is now up into the 13th spot ahead of Chris Horton and such, and there's still that Hornet's nest behind these guys. Look at this. Couple of battles 2x2. Casey Kelly, R.J. Williams, Daniel Pope, and is that Keith Jeffrey? It is Keith Jeffrey up here nearly inside the top 20.
It's up right now on that outside line. Staying in it, that's what you like to see. And honestly, Andrew, bringing up Daniel Pope and iRacing Championship from back in the day, you got me very nostalgic. I know I haven't been on the iRacing sim that long. I think I turned my first laps in 2018. So I've been around for a little bit, but not that long. I've not been involved with the community as much as I really feel like I should. And it's nostalgic, really, to see these guys that I was watching on YouTube probably in like 2015, 2014, or seeing guys that have been on the sim for such a long time and branching out into newer styles of the iRacing.com sim. Pitstop TV hasn't been around since 2008, but now we've got newer style broadcasting techniques. Not that classic iRacing ticker that you see at the top of the screen scrolling through the running order. It's just such a innovative feeling, really.
It is cool to see sometimes how far this sim has come along since, the early days, of course, releasing in 2009 and getting built up since then. And we have some drivers here in the series that have been around since those earlier days. Of course, Daniel Pope, one of them, as R.J. Williams goes up the racetrack and falls back into 24th spot. Also some battling ahead. This is worth mentioning. Blake Throneburg just ran down Parker Traves, passed him pretty easily. Throneburg is on the move despite being involved in that early yellow. He is working his way back up. He's also on one of those Matt Julis C Speed Shop setups. So he has gone from 25th all the way up here to the 12th spot now and is still working on more.
Makes you wonder which one of these setups have the best long run pace at the moment. We've got a lot of spread throughout the field now. You've got pretty much a whole pack right behind these two. Who is leading that pack behind them? I believe that is Chris Horton leading the secondary pack. And then you've got somewhat of a pack up towards the front of the field. Those guys are all up there just kind of knocking away at each other. Things are really starting to fall into place. I mean, Horton right now, that number 42 car, he's on a Cottle chassis setup. So he's got some experience with them, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, he's been with them for a little while.
I think that might actually be a new change for him. I've not seen that logo on that car before.
Oh, you might be right. I mean, right behind him, though, you've got that number 23, Dallas Tasca. He's got, out of the Majors garage, but it says on our sheet he's with Legacy Esports on getting that setup and getting into that car with what is under the hood. And, I mean, they've all been running fairly close together. They haven't really dropped off on the lap times right now. I mean, looking at how these guys are running, let's take a look at those lap times. Let's look at someone like Dallas Tasca, who's sitting in traffic right now, just ticked past the line with 16:44. Alex McCullum, that last time by the line was a 15:99. Just
whoa! But Tasca gonna send Horton around. Cabry is in it and turned nearly up onto his lid. Big crash with Spencer Dickinson going up on the mound inside of turn 4. Oh dear, it has gone haywire here at the back end of the field. Cabry backs up, Dickinson will tow. That might be it for Spencer Dickinson here tonight. We saw that happen live, though, on board with Dallas Tasca when it happened. Here is the look at it down into turn 3. Just gets in the back of Horton, spins him around. Hamilton nowhere to go. He gets into Cabry. You see it all go on from there. Jeffrey gets a piece. Cabry nearly tipped up and over.
Most of the guys that I was just talking about all just involved in that. I should have knocked on wood. Oh my
That's
goodness.
the way it goes. I'll look here at it for Cole Cabry.
It just looked like Tasca was feeling a crossover. He just got in there a little too hot.
And for the number 6 car, here's Spencer Dickinson. Right behind R.J. Williams and Keith Jeffrey. And then it all goes awry up here. He ends up zigging low and gets stuck there on the berm, high centered, and really nowhere to go.
No real damage, though.
He was spinning tire, though, trying to get back going.
So you'll have to tow back.
Quickly realized he was stuck. Now, I wanted to mention it before we had this caution come out. Things had changed up front. McCullum was still leading, but Brooks had jumped ahead into second, and you see kind of the effect of that here. Brooks chose low, Harberts chose low because of the positioning. Brooks is able to choose before Harberts and get down to that bottom side and hold on to that spot, whereas Edwards has gone up to the outside of row number 1 and brought Blake Massengill along with. And a little bit of Joel Smith action up there on the top side of row number 3. So a very different look to the front of the field as we near the first quarter of this race being complete. Here we go, back around to the restart zone. The iRacing.com pace car is in, and we are back green here at Langley. A good battle here between second and third, Brooks and Edwards. I mentioned earlier I had a feeling about Trevor Edwards tonight. He's looking good so far early in this race, up to third.
I think the top 4 as a whole chose the bottom on that last restart, Andrew, and it's really showing as Brooks is clear into that second spot. Trying to find a way around now is Harberts.
Harberts gets by. Cody Kelly leans on the 32 just a little bit. Here comes Joel Smith back into that picture. Trevor Edwards had a great restart, but has been slipping back since the drop of the green flag. Now falls back into 5th, now make it 6th. He'll find a hole in line, and will jump into that 6th spot right behind Joel Smith. And Joel Smith is in the exact same race car, exact same paint scheme that he ran a year ago. In fact, that race was held a year ago tomorrow. Smith had an abysmal start to the race. There was a big onus on tire saving the first half of the race, but then came back later on and finished in the top 5, Zach. We posted a clip of that finish earlier today on our social media platforms, and Joel Smith was in it up front. He drove back to the front of the field. Today, he's taking a very different approach. He's already up here from the start and is looking for the front of the field.
job. He's really worked himself up. He was stuck on the outside line not too long ago, and now he is really charging hard to get that car up towards the front, see if he can't mount a charge and try to see if he can win this race. As I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Joel Smith is with the EPI camp. I believe EPI still has some drivers here in the SARA series. It looks like Open Trailer Mafia. Excuse me. That's.
I believe
that actually.
I believe that is their esports team now.
And that's what was floating through my head.
I want to say Tracy Petter's also in that group. That I believe has become Tyler Payne's kind of esports team as time has gone on. So that is directly supported by Elite Performance Industries, EPI. So just another one of the setup shops that is playing a role here in the SARA Super Series and SARA Impel Motorsports National Tour. In this case, for the Impel Motorsports National Tour, Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat. We are just past quarter distance here in this 200 lapper. McCollum has led every lap so far. Justin Brooks in second spot, and that is Jacob Harbert sitting in the third position. I haven't really noticed anything too lucky yet, Zach. Quite frankly, just a couple of unlucky spins in the back of the field to bring out a couple of cautions. I will say one driver that I'm watching right now, though, has to be Mitch Drunowski. Do you recall a week ago at Slinger how good this guy was at just being there when he needed to be? He was nearly a lap down early in the race and then came back from all of that, finished, was on track to finish in the top 5, and then ran out of gas late. This is a much better start for the race for him, as you saw Cody Kelly at the racetrack up ahead. And this actually could be an opportunity for the 14 car. Let's go on board. So on board with Drunowski. That is Blake Massengill directly ahead, who fires to the inside of Cody Kelly. Drunowski will follow and will take that spot away to the backstretch. That's 7th spot for him now.
Good right now, and you know, can you guess who Drunowski's with in terms of teams and setup shop?
You can see it on the side of the car. RaceCPI.com.
So you've got Tracy Petter, you called it, Joel Smith and Mitch Drunowski. They're all with that setup shop. So now we're starting to see how these guys are really starting to take into effect. And we are more than a quarter of the way through this race now, Andrew. So now we're starting to see how these long run setups are really going to get into it. This is one driver we've been paying attention to, and he's trying to make his way into the top 10, sends it through, pushes him up, Parker Traves out of line, and that is Throneburg into the top 10.
Blake Throneburg has been rough and tumble today. Now, if you connect any sort of dots here, you can tell Blake Throneburg is involved with Throneburg Construction. So maybe there's a chip on his shoulder tonight. Maybe he wants to go out there and perform at his best for that reason. But he has been really aggressive. And you can see the CFM logo there on the hood of the car. Matt Julis C Speed Shop on the side of it. He wants to get up there with his teammates, Alex McCollum and Jacob Harberts, and others up here. He wants to show that he can be right up there with them. So he's definitely got an agenda to move forward as he moves into the top 10 ahead of Parker Traves. Works now on Tracy Petter. And that Open Trailer Mafia number 79 car. Let's jump on board. And this is interesting. Throneburg, we've seen a lot of third gear setups so far tonight. Throneburg here in 4th. I wonder, Zach, do we want to make a bet on the gear that McCullum's running?
Third gear?
4th.
Oh, boy.
Harbert's 4th. But if you go to Brooks in between, he's in 3rd. If you go to Joel Smith here, he's in 3rd. Trevor Edwards, he's in 3rd. Blake Massengill, he's in 3rd. Mitch Drunowski, he's in 3rd. Cody Kelly's in 3rd. Tracy Petter is in 3rd. And Blake Throneburg back to one of those CFM Matt Julis C Speed Shop cars. He is in 4th gear. So that's interesting. That is really interesting. I wonder if it's got to do at all with fuel savings over the course of the run, or if it's purely performance-based.
We'll wait and see maybe until about lap 125, where these guys are really settling in with their setups. My assumption was seeing guys in 4th gear that they were just tire saving, or even fuel saving, but you really don't need to fuel. Wait, I wonder if some of these guys underfilled their cars.
We saw it last week at Slinger, right? They're going to save any way they can. There will be drivers and teams that try to underfuel just a little bit, knowing there will be some cautions, and they will try to play that fuel number. They also may try to burn some extra if they feel like they've got too much gas at some point. Might try to burn a little bit more, stay in a lower gear under caution, and run higher revs. But right now, on board with Matt Rolfe. He is in the back end of Kyle Terzak. Rolfe has moved into the top 15. So, Zach, I mentioned at the top of the show, I was concerned about this guy. He has come from 30th on the grid all the way to 15th.
Is on a charge, and this is what I brought up earlier with how these guys are taking into account moving over from a super late model into a late model stock car. Body styles are very similar between these cars, but all around they are not the same, and I figured that a lot of these drivers would have a bit of a difference in between on how they run compared to a super late model or a late model stock car. We saw a number of these guys a little bit further up towards the front that were a little bit closer to the back last week, but I think we're starting to see a bit of a cream of the crop right now come up to the front, and Matt Rolfe is starting to show why he is a driver that is starting to really feel himself out a little bit more. He has shown that he is able to contend more. I think in previous seasons we've seen him run mid-teens, mid-20s, and now he's really starting to show that he can be a top 10 car.
As the field works by, one of our static shots there in turn 4. Here's a look back to the front of the field. 25 laps to go this time by in the opening half of this race. Let's take a look at weather conditions. The Cody Williams Design weather report. That track temp has soared up to a 105-degree track temp despite lowering ambient temperatures. That humidity is holding in the track a little bit. But it has really warmed this track up, having these guys loop around here time after time after time. 77 laps now complete this time by. That has greatly had an impact on the track temp, has brought it right up to where it was earlier on. So despite being fully in nighttime now, and you can see that here, it is dark around the speedway. Despite being fully in nighttime and temperatures continuing to drop, the track temp is holding steady over 100 degrees. That's why they call this one the Hampton Heat.
And we might actually start hitting lap cars right now. You've got Alex McCullum coming out of turn 2, and their car's entering turn number 3 right now. That could potentially go laps down. Riding on board with McCullum, there you see the cars up in front of him that could potentially start getting put laps down. Vernon Church and Cole Cabry. What happened there? Cole Cabry in the 29th position. We know he got involved in that wreck, but I did not expect to see him in the 29th position.
Very likely saving fuel or tires. I'd imagine tires, honestly, between the two of them. We know he's got a capable car, qualified 11th. We know he can get up there on speed. So this has to be a strategy move by him to sit back and save all the tire he can. And we saw some of this last year in this race as well, Zach, if you recall. Drivers sitting back. I even recall last year Rocky Boyd actually played that very fine line of going exactly one lap down, but then holding that lucky dog spot and waiting for the caution to come out. I don't think these guys will get that aggressive with it. I mean, Cabry sits here on the lead lap, a few seconds ahead of McCullum along with Vernon Church. I don't think they'll let themselves just go a lap down easily, but McCullum is closing, so you never know.
I'll have to wait and see. We are coming up on our stage break.
16 to go next time by.
I would wonder how a lot of these drivers are going to play it out. I would assume that Vernon Church and Cole Cabry are going to try to fight for their lives because they want to stay on the lead lap going into stage break. But at the same time, if you're already in the back, you're not starting behind anybody you wouldn't already start behind. So
getting a look here from the fan cams around the speedway. Some really cool, unique vantage points around the racetrack. Langley is one of those short tracks that has no backstretch or turn 3 seating, but you can still do a lot with the fan cams here and show some really cool angles. There's some facilities there in turn 1 and a few in turn 4, so you can still get some decent angles around the racetrack. Also, battle sparking up for 4th spot. They have dispatched of Blake Massengill. Trevor Edwards sits in the back end here of Joel Smith. That's for 4th.
lot of these guys really use underneath that yellow line, dip those left sides down into the flat spot onto the apron. I always assumed that dipping down there too much was going to wear out those left sides and wasn't going to be very helpful. But a lot of these guys are making it work. They're doing a really great job at hanging on to these tires right now, and you never know, Andrew, maybe we'll start seeing some purple laps throughout the rest of the race. I wonder who's still got some gas left in the tank for it.
I think, yes, you can wear the tires out a little more by doing that, but you also get the car to hook really nicely, and some setups might be dependent on that. Getting that hook on the apron, because it is that flat section of racetrack that de-wedges the car for just a second, helps that weight transfer and helps the car corner a little bit. This is deep in the field. This is around the 14th spot. Cameron Hamilton, Matt Rolfe, Chris Horton, these guys battling. And we are quickly approaching that halfway point where Alex McCullum will likely be the one taking us to the halfway break at lap 100. Dare I say, Zach, this has been a relatively calm race so far, and yes, I will knock on wood. I don't want to jinx anything. I'm the bringer of chaos, but not tonight. And yeah, you can see there, the leaders are on Cabry and Church. Lap 94 now of 200. So 6 to go here in the first half when they come back by the lap. By the start-finish line right there, 6 to go.
They start pushing to stay on the lead lap. Does McCullum play it safe? Let him stay on the lead lap? I mean, he's got Justin Brooks right behind him. If I'm Alex McCullum, if I'm losing the lead, I need a second place too, because I do not want to restart on that outside line. But, I mean, with the added benefit of the choose cone, you can still restart on that bottom line. It's not like how it used to be in days of old. The choose cone is a magical that we love to see. 5 to go right now, 4 to go as they roll through the restart zone. And
you know,
that's led from the drop of the green, Andrew.
I feel like if I'm Cabry here, I'm not too worried. If I'm Church, I am worried. Because if I'm Kieran Church, I know that if I get past, it's pretty likely Cole Cabry will get past as well, just because of how close they are to one another. Obviously, as the laps wind down, I'm going to get less and less worried about it, but I'd still be a little concerned, and I'd be hustling right now if I'm Kieran Church, just to stay on that lead lap, because you do not want to get trapped one lap down. You just never know when these guys might go green to the end, but 2 laps to go here in the opening half of the Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat 200. Down the back straightaway here, you see the gap there McCullum has over Brooks. And 1 lap to go in this first half of the race. Things have calmed down. You see just how strung out everybody is. Very wide open throughout the field, but up front, Alex McCullum, Justin Brooks, Jacob Harberts. Here they come around, Zach, to the halfway break.
Cole Cabry and Kernan Church are going to stay on the lead lap, and McCullum is going to take us to our stage caution flag, waiting on the caution from race control. There it is. Caution is out on the speedway, as the rest of the cars are going to bring themselves around to the start-finish line. So McCullum, Brooks, Harbert, Smith, and Edwards, that's your top 5 at the stage break. Kernan Church and Cole Cabry managed to stay on that lead lap, Andrew. That's going to be huge for them and their race strategies moving into this second half of the race. We've got 100 laps to go, 100 laps down. Oh, it's still a long race ahead, and, you know, brings up a question I wanted to ask you while we were having a chat about Cole Cabry and Kernan Church. If you are faster than the car in front of you and you are getting ready to go a lap down, do you move that car, give him the chrome horn, give him the bumper, and send him out of the way so you can stay on the lead lap and he get put a lap? Do you think that's fair?
Fair, yes. Do you want to do it, though? Probably not, because that might come back to bite you. It's definitely a situational thing. Do it if you have to.
Oh, wow,
Harberts.
Under caution. Harberts is around.
And, he comes down right into Terzak. That was not it. Do we see some pit stops out of the leaders? McCullum went wide, but what just happened to Harberts?
Well, Cody Kelly just dropped from the race.
Okay, well, here's what happened to Harberts. Oh, I see. Cody Kelly came bowling through the field whether he couldn't see people or what was going on, he came bowling through several cars. There's been some weather in the Carolinas this week. Wonder if that's a part of it. There were some pit stops there in the back, as you saw, but watch the 75 of Cody Kelly here. Right there, he must have lost people, because there goes Drunowski around. There goes Edwards. Oh, my goodness. Joe Smith got out of the way. Edwards got put up in the wall. But Kelly just kept on going, and I wonder, did he drop or was he removed for the safety of the other cars?
He was dropped. He was dropped from the session. He ended up having packet loss, it seems, and I thought he was going to make the safe bet pulling the pit lane, and there's when the drop happened.
I hate to laugh about something that was that tragic to some of those drivers, but here we go. Into the second half. The Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat 200 here at Langley Speedway, about to get restarted. Green flag back in the air here at Langley Speedway. Decisive move there out of Tracy Petter. Joel Smith trying to find a spot in line. Brooks going to hang on to second. Harbert's in fourth.
Oh, we got a smash up. Turn one. Caution's going to be out, Andrew. A couple cars around. There's Casey Kelly. You saw Dallas Pataska involved in that as well. And just like the start of the race, on the second lap back green, we have our first caution of the race. Or first caution of the stage, we'll say.
Yeah, first caution of the second half, if you will. Watch Spencer Dickinson in that blue car. Bit of a stack up ahead. Turns Casey Kelly. And Dallas Pataska has nowhere to go.
Who was that on the bottom that took a small lick through the grass? I know that was Cole Cambry right behind him. Was that Justin Crowe?
Justin Crowe down in the 86 car. Yeah, he gets a hit. Wow.
Pataska does not have a good night right now.
Pataska's on board here.
Just gets split in the middle. He thought he was going to have to go right, and then he saw the car spin back, went left, then spun back to the right. Nothing you can do there.
This is the view you want to have, though, at this point in the race. Alex McCullum leading the way. Right behind the iRacing.com pace car. Believe we'll see them choose this time by, so we should get a good look here at the choose cam. There's Spencer Dickinson coming off the pit lane. Let's see where these drivers opt to go. I'd expect a very heavy bottom bias, and there you can see the top three all go low, including Joel Smith. Harbert's chooses top. It'll be Petter going high, Edwards low, Terzak low, Massago high, Jeffrey low, Drunowski high, Horton high, and then I lost track from there.
Hey, your guess is as good as mine as where everybody else is going, but there you see the lineup. Joel Smith ends up choosing that bottom line with Justin Brooks, so your top three picking that bottom line. Harberts goes up to the top. I don't know. This could work in favor of Joel Smith and Justin Brooks. I'm sure Brooks is going to get good restart, but I don't know about Joel Smith. That outside line seems to be coming in a little bit.
Let's give this restart a go from the drone cam. Green flag on the way once again here at Langley Speedway. There they go in the restart zone. Green flag back in the air in the Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat. First lap complete off the restart. First side-by-side at third place. That's going to be Smith down low, Harbert's up top.
I guess Joel told me to eat my words for a moment because he said, "Thank you, sir." He passed both of them, got himself back up to third. You see Harbert's with that left front damage after that little excursion with Cody Kelly under the caution flag. Now, down to the inside, Trevor Edwards makes his go on that bottom line, and I told you, Andrew, who's got gas left in the tank? Justin Brooks goes purple with a 15.61 for the fastest lap of the race. And now Terzak to the inside of Harbert's. Harbert's is going backwards quick. He restarted second. He is now all the way down into the sixth spot. And Massingale on the inside as McCullum responds in turn with a quick lap.
Oh, Harbert's in the wall. Big hit for Jacob Harberts. I was just going to theorize about that left side damage and what it might be doing to his race, and he gets hooked around on the nose of Blake Massengill. I know they stay green here, but let's get a look back at what just happened. I was just about to talk about what that damage could be doing to that number 80 car, because clearly it's not quartering as well as it used to. And watch this, down the back straightaway, Massengill comes up. Harberts maybe could have gone higher, but boom, outside wall in turn 3. That's the end result.
It's a terrible start to the second half of this race for Harberts.
Look at Pataska's damage. My gosh, that car is all beat up. He'll make a pass, though, on Kyle Meyer as we get back going. Also want to mention Casey Kelly, the one car out of the race, as Cody Kelly has rejoined us at the back of the field, some 2 laps down. Up front, it's still Alex McCullum over Justin Brooks and Joel Smith. The top 3 starting to change up a little bit. And don't look now, Zach, but Trevor Edwards, he's sitting in that 4th spot. Licking his chops. Kyle Turzak as well. You know, this is somewhat of a home race for Turzak out of the Dominion, Virginia area. Races at Dominion quite often. We don't have Dominion yet here on the sim, so this is kind of next best, right? Here in Richmond are kind of his home tracks, as they're the nearest to the Dominion area.
I think it would be really awesome to see late model stock cars running at Richmond Raceway.
We've done it before.
Maybe see the Cars Tour put it on their schedule. That would be something.
We've done it before. The Carroll Kenneth Carden Memorial Race back in 2024 was run at Richmond. That was in January of 2024 here on Pit Stop TV. You can go back and watch that one on our YouTube channel. That was a lot of fun. That's how we got introduced to Cameron Carden, who now runs on the Pit Stop TV Whiplash SimCam's Whiplash Racing team in the BRB Cup Series on Tuesday nights. But as it pertains here to this evening, this just another one of those fantastic Virginia racetracks. Langley Speedway, oh so good, showing us here tonight why it deserves to be a perennial national event, if you will. Mitch Drunowski and Josh Call, they're going to fight side by side just ahead there of Josh Parrish. Drunowski falling back. I sung his praises earlier, but he's starting to head the wrong direction.
Drunowski going backwards up on that top side. Josh Parrish down low on turn number 3. Drunowski's going to give a lot of room, and now RJ Williams is going to try to stick the nose in there, see if he can't find a way around that 14. I said it a second ago, Andrew, that the outside line will come in, and maybe it's starting to come in a little bit more. Drunowski clear RJ Williams, take that spot, slot in line 15th, and it's really good on exit for defensive maneuvers, but everybody seems to be going backwards right now on that outside line. Taking a look at Matt Rolfe and Chris Horton, 2 guys that have worked their way up through the field right now. Horton in the 11th spot and Rolfe in 12th. Rolfe started dead last, and he has made up, 18 spots?
It was 19 until he got the boot by Horton and fell back into the 12th position. Josh Cottle now looks on. Cottle has been very, very quiet in this race. Very little to speak of from Josh Cottle's perspective. He started back in the 9th position, has been very quietly in that range from about 8th to 18th. Hasn't done much moving otherwise through the field. And he's usually somebody we expect towards the front. So this is a bit of an oddly quiet day for him. And, you know, I don't want to call any team out and say they maybe aren't doing as good, but I gotta observe and just state that objectively, I feel like the shop has been off their game lately, Zach. I mean, they're letting more and more races slip away. Solo was a good showing for them. Of course, Cole went second. Cole Cabry went third again at Slinger last week. But, you know, otherwise, Josh Cottle, Trevor Edwards, and their other drivers just have not been making too much noise. Edwards is leading the charge for them this evening over at the shop/Cottle Chassis. Edwards in the 5th spot, Cole Cabry, though, of course, we know he was working some strategy earlier and got caught up in an incident, but he's still down an 18th spot. I know there's a lot of race to go, Zach, but I'm not saying it's, the end times or anything for the shop, but they just aren't where they used to be.
I want to agree with you. At the same time, I don't. I don't know, Andrew. I don't know. Looking a little bit further up, Parker Traves, Keith Jeffrey. Keith Jeffrey was one of the transferees through that LCQ. He started a little bit further down the running order, starting in the 28th spot. He is currently holding down the 9th spot, right in front of Chris Horton, who's moved himself inside the top 10. Parker Traves, Tracy Petter right in front of him. The top 10 has really flipped around, Andrew. It's really flipped into something else as it was at the start of the race. You've got Alex McCullum still leading 130 laps into this as we come across the line. Well, 129 still, I guess. No, 130, I was right. McCullum still leads. Brooks is still second. Joel Smith up in the 3rd spot. That's flipped around because Joel Smith was a little bit further down the running order. Kyle Turzak moves up in the 4th spot. Massengale is up in the 5th spot. Trevor Edwards, Parker Traves, Tracy Petter, Chris Horton, and Keith Jeffrey. I think the only car that is, the only couple of cars that are still in the top 10 that were there by lap 50, as in from lap 1 to lap 50, are McCullum, Brooks, and I think that's it, really, honestly.
Watching. Well, we're seeing Dante Curtis come down to the pit lane here in the 03 machine. Maybe end times for the 03. And yes, it looks that way. Dallas Mataska, the only other car in the pits. Casey Kelly has hauled it on out of here for the day. Cody Kelly continues on. He is in 27th position. He is going for points. As far as drivers that have been up front all day long, McCullum, Brooks, I would say even Smith and Edwards. Otherwise, just about everything else has moved around. Horton's been around here and there. Massengale as well, but those are really the only drivers that have been up front and in the top 10 the entirety of this race. Here's a look at Tracy Petter dealing with Parker Traves ahead and Chris Horton behind. This is a good little fight, 7th through 9th.
It is. Parker Traves and Tracy Petter have actually been in the top 10 for a while now. They've been pretty consistent there. I was just looking back through the top 10 back at lap 50. So at lap 50, you had McCullum, Brooks, Harberts, Cody Kelly, Joel Smith, Trevor Edwards, Blake Massengale, Mitch Drunowski, Tracy Petter, and Parker Traves. So out of that top 10, McCullum, Brooks, Smith, Massengale, Edwards, Petter, and Traves are the only ones that have really stayed consistent throughout the top 10 throughout this whole race. So, that's a good spread right there, especially between setup shops and between teams. I mean, we're really kind of starting to see how many of these guys have an overall good race setup on short and long run with what we've had on the quick cautions and the long runs.
Here we go for the 10th position right now. Josh Cottle moving forward into the top 10 again. Josh Parrish moving with him. That's something a little bit different as we have battles popping up all over the racetrack. You have this fight here with Keith Jeffrey headed the wrong direction. Matt Rolfe is headed the wrong direction as Cole Cabry goes by. And then right behind that, Daniel Pope is starting to come back through the field. He works here on Mitch Drunowski for what will be the 16th position. You can see Spencer Dickinson right in behind these two, but Pope going to have the advantage over Drunowski here at the stripe.
This track going backwards, and now we're starting to see the guys that have been saving and really starting to see if they can come up through the field. Cole Cabry going through the field. Spencer Dickinson is going to try to take advantage of some contact between the 14 and the 11, and he is going to move himself on through past Daniel Pope the second and take over that 16th spot. Matt Rolfe, the next car. Cabry in front of him.
RJ Williams nearly took a spin there off the nose of Cameron Hamilton. Drunowski now sideways. These guys are getting rough and tumble. A caution is looming at this point. It could be any time with these guys, the way they're racing.
Kyle Meyer right down the road behind them, and look who's behind Kyle Meyer. Jacob Harberts, who was up at the front of the field just about all race, and he is well behind this group of cars right here. The first side-by-side battle you see there is Drunowski on the outside. Herbert is in the 23rd spot. 40 laps ago, he was restarting second on the outside line. What happened?
We know what happened.
Well, yeah, the contact, but like he's not been able to get back through the field. That's surprising out of him.
First, it was the moment with Cody Kelly under caution. Then it was Blake Massagill down the backstretch as Pope falls in behind Cameron Hamilton, and R.J. Williams will fall in behind Justin Crow. Mitch Drunowski continues to fall back. Jake Grout is back here. This is the very back end of the field as well. I mean, Kieran Church is right there. Then Cody Kelly, and then up the road, you'll find Alex McCullum. So these guys now working about 10 seconds behind the leader in a 16-second lap time. As problems are starting to arise, Pope goes up the racetrack. He's going to go to the very back end of the train all the way down to 25th spot.
And Cody Kelly has rejoined 45 laps down. You see him right there at the tail end of that group right there. So he's trying to stay in it for some points, maybe pass up. I believe the only car he'd be able to pass up would be Dallas Tasca, maybe Donson Curtis. I know Blake Throneburg is a few laps down as well, about 15 laps down at the moment. So if they just keep ticking down, then he should be able to pass up a few cars and get himself back into a good position. But this race has really just turned itself around right now, Andrew. Really starting to get into the nitty-gritty. We're into the last quarter. We're 3/4 of the way through the event. We've got 50 laps to go next time by the flag stand. Alex McCullum is still leading. 5/10 over Justin Brooks. Kyle Turzak's moved into the top 3. Joel Smith is falling into the outskirts of the top 5. He's down in the 5th spot at the moment. And Drunowski just pulling himself out of the way. I wonder if he's going to pull himself down in the pit lane. No, he just moves over for both of those cars. Even Cody Kelly, who is 48 laps down at the moment. You can see McCullum is starting to catch the back end of these cars just out of camera shot. A little bit further up, though, Dickinson and Cambry, they're a little bit on the charge. Matt Rolfe's starting to fall back.
Yeah, Rolfe's starting to head the wrong direction. This was... Well, I switched over to this because Dickinson actually moved forward. He moved up into the 13th spot, I believe. So Spencer Dickinson on his way forward. Cole Cambry stabilizes in 14th for now. There's racing really all over the racetrack. Josh Parrish, Parker Traves right here. And we are now inside of 50 laps to go. So, Zach, we don't have to make selections just yet. Hang on, caution I think is on the way. Drunowski just went to 0 miles per hour. He just pitted. Was he short on gas again? It's looking like he might have been. Battery pulled off for a whole different reason. Let's go back and look at it. As one other car comes in, it's Daniel Pope on the pit lane. But here's Drunowski. He just peels off and comes in. And then watch Daniel Pope. He's already racing on his own back here. He's going to end up coming into the pit lane in just a moment. Maybe next lap around for him.
Let Kelly by here. Make sure he doesn't hold him up or get below that yellow line at least. See him move up the racetrack. Yeah, he lets Kelly by off of turn number 2. And down the back straightaway, he makes a hard cut below that yellow line. Gets that car wound up. Pulls it right in.
Really strange. I don't know if this is just kind of these guys quitting or what's going on, but both of them have come in. Dante Curtis also in the pit lane, as you see them there on the pits, parked and out of the race for now. Up front, though, things have spread out, and Kyle Turzak has surged to the front. We were focused on the back end of the field a lot, Zach. Let's recap what's gone on up front. From what we can tell, Langford has moved forward. He's into 8th. Massengill has dropped back. Smith has dropped back. Joel Smith down to 6th position. He was up there in the top 3 as Parker Traves now has trouble. My goodness, this race is unraveling quickly, but to continue recapping the front as we look for a replay, Joel Smith has dropped from 3rd back to 6th, and Turzak has taken over. Kyle Turzak has taken over that 3rd spot. Here is Parker Traves coming into the pit lane. I wonder if this long green flag run has made these guys realize they don't have enough gas. I don't know, but Zach, here we go for the race lead. In lap traffic now behind RJ Williams and Keith Jeffrey. Jeffrey, by the way, was inside the top 10 at the beginning of this run. He is now 22nd. And about to get sent by McCollum.
McCollum does not want to get held up. This is going to allow Turzak to close in on these top two. They have a right to fight to stay on the lead lap. They can do what they must to keep it up there, but as we roll into the last few remaining laps, I say few, but we still got 36 laps to go. You know, we're rolling into the back end of the race. This is where crunch time comes into play. You know, Joel Smith has fallen further down the running order as well. He's down into 8th. Parrish and Dickinson are up into the top 10. Chris Horton is 5th right now. These guys are really starting to feel out their setups and really starting to see what they can do. It's just this top 3 right now, within a second of each other. Turzak being, what, 7, 8 tenths right behind.
Watching the top 2 as they continue to do a little bit of battle here. They're going to lap Matt Rolfe. I think a lot of these drivers that have pitted have done so for fuel, because they've realized they were going to be out of gas, and if they take fuel under green, they would be out of the race. And now I think Rolfe slowing down is a sign that maybe he's running out of gas. And here we go, for the top spot. Justin Brooks, there we go, that's the name I'm looking for. Justin Brooks drives right on by Alex McCollum. Where did this come from?
That's the first lead change we've had all race long. First time anyone other than Alex led all race long. I did hear some guys say they were coming in, they were going to be pitting. I'm not sure what's going on. I know Cottle and Langford moved in front of Horton. Joel Smith has moved to the outside. I want to say outside, but he's just inside the top 10 still. He's probably going to lose the spot here to Cameron Hamilton. Matt Rolfe is the lap down now. Caution on the speedway.
It's Keith Jeffrey, I think. He's parked on the inside of the front stretch. This is that caution a lot of cars clearly needed. Come in, get some gas, and continue on. What happened here, though, to Keith Jeffrey? He was sideways in the back straightaway. I didn't see much visual damage yet. Is he losing a tire?
He pulls down, hits the wall, and stops.
I really don't know what's going on there.
We're waiting to see what's going to happen here.
Now we're hearing from Ethan Wolf in the YouTube chat, and you know, he's a credible source. He's had us broadcast for him before. I believe him when he says that it's a tire issue for some of these guys. They're losing tires maybe, or getting close to losing tires and having to pit as a result of that. I mean,
I'm not wrong about the right rear.
I'm still inclined to think it's fuel first and then tires, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see some tires let go. That was a long green flag run, longer than we had, I think, at all last year in this race.
We're seeing a couple guys come into the pit lane. Joel Smith has made his way into the pit lane. A lot of the guys that we saw come in, you see Harbert's down there as well, have stayed on the pit lane. Parker Traves has stayed on the pit lane this entire time. He's 10 laps down now. Daniel Pope II is 14 down. So this is going to allow someone like Casey Kelly, Cody Kelly to get some laps back. Cody Kelly's only 2 laps down, excuse me. You never really know, and Matt Rolfe just gave himself an EOL. So this is really changing up. This is interesting. Don't really know what to say here. It's definitely turned this race on its head. We'll restart with 30 laps to go.
Cottle has somehow found his way to the front of the top lane. You see the top 5 all chose bottom, really. Brooks, McCullum, Turzak, Edwards, and Horton. This puts Cottle up top of the front row with Langford on the outside of row number 2. And then Parrish, Hamilton, and Meyer. Green flag back in the air. We are back green in this Hampton heat. And here comes Cottle. He gets in line for second. What a move!
Big move, and McCollum has fallen down to 4th. Steele Langford is going to move himself in line and puts himself into the 3rd spot. Alex McCollum, for the first time, has to be on attack all day. Kyle Turzak on the back bumper of him, trying to see if he can't find a way around that number 1 and get up into the spot. So really, things are starting to turn around for these drivers up at the front. You've got a cobble chassis setup. You've got a CFM setup up there at the front of the field. And then you've got Steele Langford also with CFM. So CFM really brought their A game today here for the Hampton Heat at Langley Speedway. Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat, that is, as Justin Brooks leads the way, Andrew, pulling up on 25 laps to go. I gotta say, with how things have played out, I don't even know who to pick for the day.
Yeah, we got to go ahead and do that. I was trying to delay it until the right time. I'm glad we waited just a little bit longer. But Justin Brooks leading the way now over Josh Cottle and Steele Langford, 233 cars on the podium right now. Everything has changed in this race. Zach, I'm going to give you the floor here. 25 laps to go. This time by, we've got to make our picks.
Honestly, you know what? I'm probably going to get some heat for it, but I'm going to go with Spencer Dickinson for my first pick. He spun earlier. Oh, Alex McCullum is around!
Oh, boy.
No!
Well, that might be a pick that we were going to make out of the way. Let's see what happened for McCullum. He was racing here with Kyle Terzak, and from the brief look that I got beforehand, I think it's going to involve that 15 car. Watch down here into turns 1 and 2. Terzak there behind, McCullum ahead. Terzak misses the bottom, gets loose, and wipes out the 1 car.
I don't know if there was some intent there. Maybe.
This overhead look, I don't think so. You watch it here, it looks like it maybe. But I really, based on the overhead look we got to start, I really don't think there's any intent there. I'll show it one more time and I'll slow it down. Watch this. You can tell he goes over the bumps. There's a big bump on the inside of 1, and it got him loose.
Yeah, but look at those right side tires. That was a big right turn after he got it straight
loose.
from
He
the
was
contact.
correcting. Here, we'll watch inside of his car. I've come to know Kyle Terzak pretty well over the last couple of years. There's no way he's going to be intentionally wiping him out. He got
Maybe
loose.
you have a point there then.
He got loose, threw the wheel to the right to try and save it. Watch this again. I'll slow it down again. He throws a lot of wheel in right here. Throws a lot of wheel in. He's right lock and tries to bring it back and then steers through it to try and get away so that he doesn't pile into the 1 car and make it worse for either of them. That's just a mistake. It's not a good mistake at all, right? It's one we don't want to see, but it's just a mistake there out of driver 15. But let's go ahead and under this last lap of caution, get our picks in real quick.
Picks for me, I gotta say, I want to go in with Spencer Dickinson. He had that spin earlier on. He had a toe. He's made his way up into the top 10. And then I think my second pick, honestly, I have to go with Steele Langford. He's worked his way up through the field as well.
I'm glad you give me the floor then, because I'm going to take the 33 of Justin Brooks, and I'll let you know here after a couple of laps of green flag who my other driver is going to be. Here we go, back around to the restart zone, and green flag is back in the air. The Throneburg Construction, Hampton Heat, green flag.
And caution immediately. Cars piling in. Cole Cabry, Jacob Harbert into the wall. Oh no. It's just turned itself topsy-turvy all over again. We had a great run up to this point, Andrew, but now the cautions seem to be breeding cautions.
I just had to go and say, after a couple of green flag laps, right? Well, here's a look at Steele Langford and such under this restart. Spencer Dickinson right behind Langford. And it actually starts for the back. So it started with the 54 car. Actually, I wonder if it was the 33 of Langford being a little slow at the restart that actually led to this. And let's
stack up behind.
Let's see. So Langford here, watch him. We'll slow it down. He lags at the drop of the green. That's going to back up the bottom lane a little bit. And then if you go back here to Cabry. Yeah, I mean, they're checking up big time. Grout gets in the back of Cabry, spins him around, and Grout takes a massive hit.
That's probably going to be his day done. Yeah, we're seeing a pit for a pair flag, meatball flag for Grout.
One more look. Grout just smack in the back and then laid in the throttle, which not the greatest look. But you see everybody try to get through it there under that caution. We'll get back up to some live picture. There you see Cabry working off the pit lane, and there's the choose, it looks like. With Justin Brooks choosing low, Josh Cottle back outside. Josh Parrish. He's going to be my other pick for driver of the day, from 20th on the grid to 3rd under this caution flag. It's just the right time right now for Josh Parrish. He's a spotter by day, a sim racer by night. Let's see what he can do. I'll make that vote go live over on YouTube, and you can take your pick for the North American Racing League driver of the day. Spencer Dickinson, an option, as well as the 33 of Steele Langford, the 55 of Josh Parrish, and the other 33 of Justin Brooks. But here we come back around to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We are racing again in the Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat. Langford, Parrish, side by side for 3rd place. 100 laps ago, did not think I'd be saying that.
Langford made a bold call, chose the outside line. A lot of drivers that got caught up in that stack up still ended up choosing the bottom. Kyle Meyer, Spencer Dickinson, they both chose the bottom. They lost a couple of spots off that choose. Still Langford, though, he's up here to be aggressive. Cameron Hamilton, where did he come from? He started fighting his way up inside the top 10, and now he's in 5th as the caution flag is out once again. Harberts. Oh no, Cody Kelly's around as well.
Yeah, Cody Kelly finally found his way back into a caution this evening. Unfortunate stuff for him, and it's interesting. Again, I don't think there's going to be any intent here at all, considering the circumstances that transpired earlier, but it's going to be Harberts that gets in the back here of Cody Kelly, and it was Harberts that was most affected, I'd say, by Kelly's issue earlier in this race. And there you see they just stacked up down low, and Kelly got the short end of the stick. Very quick spin there for the 75 car. You saw Petter was getting loose. He checked up for Petter, and around he goes.
Just unfortunate. You really hate to see it.
And so we continue on under the control of car 33, Justin Brooks. That was not the choose that time. We should get it this next time by. We'll have 20 laps to go when we go back green flag racing. And I want to revisit the schedule here briefly. The next race these guys have, we just had 2 back-to-back. We don't have that again the rest of the way through this schedule. So we got 3 in pretty quickly within a month here. And then we're off for a month until August 21st for the Oxford 250. That's not for some time at this point. 4 or 5 weeks now that we've got to wait between this race and the next. So these guys want to get this win if they can, because they know they have a break coming up and a lot of time to prep for that Oxford 250 in August. There's a lot riding on this race. We talked about points earlier. We can look at that again. Cole Cabry, of course, comes in with the advantage, but this is going to move around a lot. Of course, Cabry's been mired in the back. Hamilton has been all around. Smith has been up and down. Pope has been in the back a lot of this race. McCullum was up here leading all those laps, then got turned by Terzak, who's 6th. I mean, this is all going to change a bunch between now and Oxford in a few weeks. But here we go, Zach. Back around to the restart zone. Everything that we just talked about going on in the backs of these drivers' minds. It's a lot to digest. 20 laps for these guys to figure it out. Back around to the restart zone. Green flag is out. And that second row rather, Parrish tried to get going and then fumbles at the green.
Parrish did not get a good restart. That's going to allow Dickinson and Meyer to get a great jump on the restart. Steele Langford's trying to force his way back in there. Oh, going around. That's Chris Horton right in front of the field. And oh no. That is another caution out on the field. Oh my goodness. We said it. Cautions breed cautions. These guys are just having a great time right now. And Kyle Terzak got into Keith Jeffrey right there. Or not Keith Jeffrey, Chris Horton. Chris Horton was going around on his own. And Terzak really had nowhere to go.
Yeah, Horton's car came around early on him, and Terzak was just kind of there to help facilitate it. Rolf and Petter get a piece as well. But that Chris Horton guy, unfortunately, just got loose all on his lonesome there into turn 3. Watch it here from his hands. The car just came around and then whooped
That right rear tire. That right rear tire is super heated right now. We are 180 laps in on the same set of tires.
Looks like these guys are waiting on the iRacing pace car to catch up. Horton back here having to wait. Yeah, go back to Whiplash Simcam's race details, right? Cautions don't count. Actually, I don't have it listed, interestingly, because this is a no-tire race. No change tires for these guys. They're on the same set the entire race, and that has been the theme. We had 200 laps at Sobo, 200 laps at Slinger, now 200 laps here at Langley, all on the same set of tires. No changes for these guys. It's a long ways to go on one set. You've got to manage it over the course of the race, as the iRacing.com safety car finally will catch up here, and we'll get a pacing field once again.
I do want to say, Andrew, we have got 35 watchers over there on YouTube right now, and we've only got 6 votes for Driver of the Day. Go out there, vote, get your Driver of the Day vote in before this race comes to a close.
You know, Zach, sometimes I try to tell myself they're just waiting for the checkered flag to come out and then they're going to vote, but a lot of times they don't. So if you're watching on anything short of a smart TV, you can vote. You can take part in the conversation. You can take part in the vote. You can make your voice heard. Now, I understand if you are going to wait on the checkered flag to fly, but once that checkered flies, we better see a lot of your votes come rolling in. Back on the Driver of the Day conversation, Justin Brooks leads this race currently in that 33 car, but it may not stay that way, and you have other options. Spencer Dickinson, one of them. Steele Langford, another. And, of course, Josh Parrish, also nominated for today's North American Racing League Driver of the Day honors. As here we go to the choose this time. Brooks, Meyer, and Parrish all go low. Cottle, Dickinson, and Langford go high. Hamilton, Terzak, and Crow go low. Rolfe and Cabry go high. That'll fill in your top 10. Going to be an interesting restart for sure once these guys go back green. And just from us talking about it, we got a few more votes there on the YouTube chat. That vote is only on YouTube. For those of you watching on Facebook and Twitch, unfortunately, you do have to migrate over to YouTube. Stay tuned if we're going to change that up. We might. We've been thinking about it, and we'd love to hear your feedback. Maybe we should do a Google form or what have you. But for now, we come back around with 19 laps to go in this race at the Langley Speedway. The Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat back underway at Langley. Dickinson falling back. He's into 4th. Here comes Parrish. Here comes Langford. 3 wide.
Langford with the bump and run right there. He's going to send Dickinson up the racetrack. That's going to cost him some spots here, Andrew. He took a bold move to restart 4th on the choose cone, picking that outside line. The outside line worked in the favor last restart, but it doesn't look like it's going to stay in the favor of the outside line on this restart, as Terzak now underneath Dickinson to try and keep moving forward as Brooks goes faster still. 15:47 on the nose of that 33 car, trying to hang on.
That's not going to do it.
Langford Terzak.
What a catch there from Langford. A caution, though, will be for the 86 of Crow, going around off of Spencer Dickinson. But I wonder how race control is going to review that one, because that gets started up, realistically, by Terzak getting into Langford. Here's a look at it from the tower. And Langford checked up for Hamilton. Terzak got him, but then they figured it out, and then it was the 6 of Dickinson sending the 86 of Crow around. Unfortunate stuff.
It's going to cost Dickinson some spots. It just gets right into the back of Justin Crow, and he actually hit the commitment line right there, so he's more than likely going to get an unsafe pit entry, but I'm sure race control will get that cleared for him. Looking on the scoring column right now. It looks like Chris Horton and Matt Rolfe are out of the race as well. I didn't even notice that.
A lot of drivers actually out of this race now. Jake Grout, Blake Massengill, Matt Rolfe potentially, RJ Williams, Keith Jeffrey, Parker Traves, Mitch Trunowski is actually back in, Daniel Pope, Dante Curtis, Blake Throneburg are all out, along with Dallas Pataska and Casey Kelly. So they have been dropping like flies. We are down to 19 cars left in this race. Pit lane is littered with a bunch of metal right now. And Matt Rolfe is the interesting one to me that's in the pits. Is he potentially done for the day? I hope not. Admittedly, Zach, I got involved in Sarah Pick'em this week. I got involved in Sarah Pick'em this week, and he was one of the Group B drivers. You can choose a driver from Group A and a driver from Group B as they're designated in the Sarah Discord channel. And I chose Matt Rolfe as my Group B driver. I chose Alex McCullum as my Group A driver. So I wouldn't mind McCullum getting back up there just for that reason, but we'll see what happens. I did want to actually chronicle, before that caution came out, that Cabry is back to sniffing a top 10. I believe he is 6th in line of the bottom side. That looks correct to me. And McCullum is 2 rows back of that. So they are each trying to get back in this race, but they've each chosen the bottom so as to try and hold on to track position down there.
Cody Kelly back in this race. He was 2 laps down. Now he's up into the 8th spot once again. He started 4th, but the big kicker is if you started outside the top 20, Andrew, you're sure as heck inside the top 10 now. The pace car is going to pull off into the restart zone. We're back underway, 15 laps to go.
Mitch Trunowski up the racetrack in the back. Langford gets in line down in front of Parrish and behind Meyer. 1 lap complete from the green. There they go by the speed shot. Harber's in the wall.
That was close. I thought Harbers was going to get turned right in front of the field, but it looks like he's going to keep it straight. We're going to stay green, and we're rolling in towards the end of this race now. Laps winding down. We're almost in 10 to go territory. We're single file throughout this top 10. You see Kelly to the inside of Terzak. Kyle Meyer sets quick time right now in the 3rd spot. Starting to take shape. We're starting to see these guys really show us what they got on this short run speed.
I want to know how in the world Kyle Meyer is up here. No offense to Kyle Meyer, but he started 27th. He was one of our transferees from the LCQ heat race. He's up in 3rd place right now behind his teammate Josh Cottle. These 2 Cottle chassis cars, I know we were harping on them earlier, but they are inside the top 3. 2 of them here as we come around to take 10 to go. And look at that, Kyle Meyer going to make the move on by Josh Cottle. Josh gave that one to him, and they're racing behind. Hamilton, Parrish, side by side. Now they get it figured out just ahead of Cody Kelly. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th on the racetrack.
What I was talking about earlier, if you started outside of the top 20 in this race, then you are going to be finishing in the top 10 because you've got Kyle Meyer started 27th, he's 2nd. You've got Cameron Hamilton started 26th, he's 5th. You've got Josh Parrish started 20th, he's 7th. You've got Justin Crowe started 29th, he's 11th right now. Working on the top 10. In fact, he just passed Jacob Harbert, so he's going to get inside. Spencer Dickinson working on getting back 10 now as well. I mean, Steele Langford started 12th outside the top 10. He's 4th right now. Cole Cabry started 11th. He's 9th. All these guys that are starting outside the top 10, outside the top 20, they're working themselves in as Meyer is on the back bumper of Justin Brooks, looking to see if he can't take this win away.
You see on the ticker, positions gained for the whole of the field. 25 for Meyer, 21 for Hamilton, 13 for Parrish, and 19 for Crowe. Just so impressive what these drivers have done over the course of this race. But up front, Zach, it is all down to these top 2, Justin Brooks, Kyle Meyer, as we come around this time to take 5 laps to go here at the Langley Speedway. These top 2 could be the ones dueling it out for the Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat. And you can tell, you know, if you've seen that flying kind of wing decal on the side of any car like that before in Virginia, that's a Virginia native usually, paying homage to, I believe, Ray Hendrick. That is a telltale sign that Kyle Meyer really wants to win this race. He's got some blood in it as these guys take 4 laps to go. That's an opportunity right there to the inside for Kyle Meyer. He gets down there and will get to the inside of Justin Brooks and take the lead away. 3 laps to go for Kyle Meyer.
Brooks is going to try to cross him over, maybe use the bumper. He takes a look down and really sends it in there. You saw the rear end step out but that 88 of Kyle Meyer is going to take that lead away. He's going to build length gap, and it is going to be popsicle sticks in the air for that 88 car. 2 laps to go. There you see Joel Smith as the lap car. Might be in the way, might not be in the way, but what does Justin Brooks have to try and get back to Kyle Meyer? I don't think he's going to get there, Andrew. The gap continues to grow. It is going to be white flag in the air presented by Whiplash Cams. 1 lap to go for Kyle Meyer here at Speedway.
How did we all sleep on this guy? Kyle Meyer, powered by the shop and coddled chassis, is going to come around and collect himself a checkered flag in the Impel Motorsports National Tour. He will win here at Langley Speedway. Checkered flag for driver number 88. There they all are across the stripe. Cody Kelly from multiple laps down will finish 4th. Oh my goodness, what a race. Cabry in the top 10. But it's all eyes on that number 88 out front. Unbelievable job by Kyle Meyer to fire up to the front of the field.
Kyle won a National Tour race before.
I don't think
we usually see him.
I've never seen him win a SARA race at all. I'm not saying he hasn't, but he hasn't yet on Pit Stop TV.
We usually see him kind of in between 10th and 20th most of the time. So, not to knock him down, he is definitely a good driver. I think if you're in the SARA series, you are an exceptional race car driver on the iRacing.com sim, but we have not really seen him have great runs, but wow, just wow. And it seems like the sentiment is shared. A lot of the drivers giving him some good congratulations. We see it in the chat as well on YouTube. This has been really an upset. I don't want to say an upset win, but this has been a stand-up fan favorite win.
That most definitely is an upset win. Kyle Meyer from the LCQ heat race to the feature and to victory lane this evening. Let's take a look back and look at the unofficial race results when it's all said and done. Unbelievable stuff from Kyle Meyer this evening. He will win here at Langley Speedway in the Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat. Kyle Meyer first, Justin Brooks second, then Cameron Hamilton, Cody Kelly, and Josh Cottle. That is a look at your top 5. 6th place, Steele Langford. 7th, Josh Parrish. 8th, Justin Crow. 9th, Kieran Church. Good run for him. He was dead last pretty late in this race, as was Cole Cabry at one point. He will finish 10th. Really impressive runs throughout this entire top 10.
Just an absolute amazing run for all of these drivers. You've got 11th place going to Spencer Dickinson, 12th going to Chris Horton. 1 lap down, you'll find Joel Smith. He was the first car to go 1 lap down. You saw him up in turn 3 right there. Jacob Harbert ends up 2 laps down in the 14th spot. 15th goes to Kyle Turzak. Alex McCullum ends up 16th after he was leading more than 3/4 of this race, Andrew. I mean, you gotta feel for the man. That is just rough for Alex McCullum. Tracy Petter ends up 17th. Trevor Edwards in the 18th position. 19th is going to go to Matt Rolfe, and then Jake Grout is going to take home the 20th position. 10 more cars up on the docket after that. And a great note, Kyle Meyer also has the fastest lap.
Down in the 21st spot, you'll find Blake Massengill in car number 10, RJ Williams 22nd, Mitch Drunowski 23rd, Keith Jeffrey. He was in the top 10 late in this race, then had to run, had an emergency pop-up. We hope all is well. He finishes 24th. Parker Traves 25th. Daniel Pope II, promising start to the day, 26th place at the end. Dante Curtis 28th. Blake Throneburg, hate to see that for Blake. He finishes 28th. Dallas Pataska, Casey Kelly back into the field. They all made it to halfway. They didn't all make it past halfway this evening. Kyle Meyer walks away with the win here at Langley Speedway. And I have but one question to start out for you, Kyle. How in the world did you come from the back of the field to the front like that and secure this checkered flag?
It's just buying my time, trying to stay on the lead lap. Felt like I was running a decent pace early on to be able to push it at the end, and we hit halfway and it was go time.
We first learned your name back with the Legends and whatnot when we were covering SOF nights here on Pit Stop TV. We've seen you become such a better driver. Not saying you're ever a bad driver, want to be clear, but you've gotten so much better as these years have progressed, particularly here in the Sim Auto Racing Association. Now, I'm not sure if this is your first win. This is your first win that I've seen here in the SARA Super Series or National Tour. this is, I'd imagine, pretty big for you, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is only my second SARA win ever. Gotta thank all the shop guys, big time.
And I know we have more drivers in here than just in the Super Series, but I believe, unless my memory is very fuzzy for some reason, which it could be, I'm pretty sure you run the Super Series, right?
Yes.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I've seen 288s out there in those races as well. Of course, you run the Super Series. This is pretty darn close. There's a few extra drivers in here, but this may as well be a Super Series win in the momentum that it gives you through the rest of the summer here in the Sim Auto Racing Association. So how do you try to wear this now? I know it's only a few minutes old for you, but how do you try to wear this moving forward into the next race, into Oxford here in a month?
I just keep building on it, keep the head down, keep the grind going. Try to minimize mistakes. I know as a driver standpoint, I still need a lot of work. I think that's shown.
One more question for you. I'm sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
One more question for you. We'll let you go and celebrate this one with your team. But when did you finally know that this win was yours? Because you made that initial pass on Justin, and then he fired right back to your inside down in turn one. Was it then when you pinched him off right there, or was it when you finally came around and collected that checker flag officially that it finally set in?
Pretty much just taking the checkered because you never know. You could do something stupid. I've done it plenty of times.
Well, Kyle, congratulations. I can only imagine that you may be at a loss for words. Some quick answers this evening for sure. But Kyle, it's good to talk to you again. It's been a long time. Congratulations, and hopefully we're talking to you a little more often here.
Thank you. That would be the plan.
Kyle Meyer with a big run here this evening. He'll finish first in that number 88 car from 27th on the grid. Zach as low as 29th. He passed nearly every position to get here and does it over Justin Brooks in that number 33. And by the way, we can go ahead and end the poll here in a couple minutes. He is second. He could get a last second push based on this interview, Zach.
He could. Justin Brooks, a driver that I've had experience racing against on the iRacing.com sim, and a driver I've very much loved calling races for. Josh, you led 23 laps on the day. You had the chance. You got by Alex McCullum. You were leading there, and then all of a sudden, in your mirror, Kyle Meyer. I mean, walk us through how that race went for you. Just what it would have taken to walk away with the win tonight.
Somebody not stopping on a track on 169 and just sitting there till the caution come out would have probably helped. I mean, we were in prime position there. I saw Alex getting loose, and I was just trying to back my pace down and keep a gap to Terzak, and I seen Alex start to slip the rear end a little bit more and more and more, and I was like, well, I might as well take advantage because my car felt really good. As soon as we get by him, that's when that caution happened, and then it's just restart after restart. You got to go hard as you can for 2 or 3 laps and heat the right rear up. Caution laps don't count, repeat, and it got to the point where, I saved behind Alex, I think pretty good there, but the pace I ran to stay up there, it got me with having to go hard as I could on those few restarts and re-rack them every single time. So, I mean, right rear started going away there about, I'd say 8, 9 to go, and by the time Kyle got up to me, I was just trying to hang on. So, I mean, I tried to cross him over and send it off into one underneath him, and I felt the car getting free, so I just jabbed on the brakes and tried to come home for a second here and think big picture.
Well, you did a stand-up job to keep yourself in contention all race long, and I think the other big question that I've got on my mind is, if things would have played out a little bit better in your favor, if you were able to hang on to it, do you think with the setup that you had that things were just going to kind of roll through the rest of the way? I mean, we saw a lot of guys pitting for getting fuel in their car, a lot of guys under, and we were taking a look at the fact that you had a very different setup and were running a different gear compared to everybody else. Do you think that setup was going to get you to the end and keep you in a good standpoint to get to the checkered flag, or do you think maybe you need to change something up a little bit as the race was going on?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, it was my Sobo set with about 5 or 6 changes, and it hauled buggy up Sobo. I was able to keep it up front the whole race and have better tires, except for the guys that rode in 25th place. I mean, It was fast. Honestly, I thought that I set it up a little too tight. All the guys that was running my setup, Cody, Casey, Cam, and all them, Daniel, they were a little snug. I was snug as well, but I mean, I felt like I had plenty of drive off because anytime I'd push the pace a little bit to try to make Alex push it a little bit to see what he had, I'd see him slip up and I would just have so much drive off. And I'd watch the guys in the mirror, especially from lap 100 on, watching Joel and them. I seen them just put wheel into it, trying to run the pace I had, and I was just sitting there going probably 90% throttle down the straightaway. I was never going full throttle, so I mean, it was hooked up. I mean, if I'd known all those cautions would have happened at the end like that, I mean, yeah, a little bit more cross weight or something like that would have been nice, or a softer rack rear spring, or, you know, you could play so many different scenarios. But for what I had, if it would have played out the way it should have played out, yeah, we had a really good piece. I mean, I want to I'm just going to go and thank them first and foremost. I mean, I know I usually do it at the end of the interview, but I want to thank Cam Hamilton and all the guys at the association for helping turn some laps, give feedback, and tell me what they thought of the setup, and, you know, adjust accordingly on it. Because without them, I mean, we wouldn't have probably won Sobo, and we would have probably never had a shot tonight. I don't know. I mean, we've got this long run stuff dialed in with the stuff we've been trying, and hopefully it can plan out at Martinsville as well.
Well, congratulations to you. You did an absolute stand-up job to keep that car out there. We're looking forward to seeing you in the next race.
Yep, thank you.
And that'll be Justin Brooks, second place this evening. Cameron Hamilton, somebody that Justin mentioned there a couple of times in his interview. Cameron comes up in the third spot, and Cameron, you were up and down all over the place. I mean, Kyle Meyer started right behind you. He ends up driving past and to the win. You drove up to third place. What was your day like out there? Clearly, it was not easy.
Chaotic would be the first and only word I think I could use to describe it. First and foremost, I want to apologize. I feel like I hit everybody in the field tonight. I want to apologize to Cole. Trevor had something happen under caution. I hit him while I was trying to grab a drink of water. So I want to apologize to those guys. Crazy run. Super thankful to finish where I did. I didn't know if we'd have the right rear left or a right front for that matter. Pretty chaotic at the end too, but it was a great race overall.
A great race for sure, and it sounds like a great race for you guys over at the association. We talk a lot about setups and different setup shops and different teams who work with different setup shops and whatnot, and it was a lot of CFM and Matt Julis C-Speed shop at the front of the field early. Then it comes up that we've got two association cars on the podium. How do you like them apples? How did you get those two cars, you and Brooks, in that kind of position?
That's all Justin. Justin handles like all the late model stock car setup stuff. I feel like he's really dialed in on like the long run of the car, and as long as you're patient with it, you get through halfway through the race and the car just kind of takes off. That's all Justin and him. We all test or try to test with him and help him as much as we can. So just a big shout out to him for putting in the time and effort into the setup and giving us a great race car to go out here and run and have fun. That's really what it's all about at the end of the day, is having fun.
And I know your Super Series win back at Hickory was one of the most popular yet in the SARA series in general. This one, I don't know, it might be a little bit higher. I know it's up there with your win for sure. Cameron, congratulations. Maybe a new favorite win for Kyle Meyer. That just gives you all the more reason to go out there at Oxford and show these guys up. Well, hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Great win to him. That's awesome to see for Kyle. So it's a great race to him. And real quick, I just want to thank everybody at the association that hangs around and helps out. Casey, Cody, Jim, Joe, Daniel Pope, Justin, Wooten, Joe, I may have said that twice. Parker, can't forget Parker. So I want to thank all those guys. If it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be much fun. So I want to thank all those guys, and thank you guys for doing the broadcast, and Matt for putting on the leak.
Absolutely glad to be here. Sounds like a lot of names pulling the virtual wrenches underneath those virtual fenders on these cars at the front of the field. Cameron, congratulations. Hopefully we're talking again soon.
Thank you.
He'll finish third place this evening, Cameron Hamilton does, and I always feel like, Zach, when we have these upset wins, we get shown up big time on who should have been on our card for driver of the day. Clearly, we should have had Kyle Meyer in there. We didn't know. And we can go ahead and end that poll, and we can name the North American Racing League driver of the day. It's going to be Josh Parrish. I'm glad I gave him the nod because he did come through the field quite nicely. Ends up finishing in the 7th spot after starting 20th. Not as big of a day necessarily as Kyle Meyer, but still a big day for Parrish. He was there when that vote was made, and then everything changed in the 20 laps following.
It did. The whole race just flipped around. I don't even really know what to say after that. That was a great race.
And as Trevor Edwards has so gracefully pointed out to me in my DMs, lap 124, Zach, I was saying the shop is off their game. Lap 200, Kyle Meyer went to victory lane as a shop driver. That's just racing for you. I mean, these guys are, off their mark, maybe 75 laps to go, not many of them in the top 10. And then you have Kyle Meyer first, Josh Cottle fifth. Admittedly, even Cole Cabre in the top 10, they didn't have the greatest comeback. They had a lot of things go wrong for them. Trevor Edwards did as well. But they still showed up and showed out and took the win by virtue of Kyle Meyer. So, yes, Trevor, I see the error of my ways, and I will give you the nod. But let's see what's upcoming here for the SARA National Tour, the Impel Motorsports National Tour. That is, Zach, it'll be Oxford coming up next. That's going to be a lot of fun. I always love going to that little track in Maine.
What about Martinsville?
Well, yes, I like Martinsville as well, but definitely Oxford Plains is a favorite of mine, and I'm excited to go there next, as that is our next stop on this Impel Motorsports National Tour through the back end of 2025. As it works, though, for us here at Pit Stop TV, our next broadcast will be with Dallara IR05s as they head to Homestead Miami Speedway. I'm excited, Zach. I really am. This is going to be a very fun one for us.
I'm really excited for that one.
There are 3 tracks being used for the major series this weekend. International, I believe, is going to... Oh, I just had it in my head and I lost it. Oh my gosh. Is it... It's not Motegi. I completely just blanked on where... Maybe it is Motegi. Regardless, there's 3 different tracks across the region. Sonoma is one of them. Homestead is another. I want to say Motegi is maybe the other one. But we have Homestead for the Americas region. Of course, being in the Americas region, we give that oval side a bit of a bias. We're the only ones headed to an oval this weekend, the Americas region. So it should be a lot of fun. July 20th, this Sunday, as the Major Series gets back in action for the first time since the Majors 24 back in June. And then next week, Zach, I'm excited for this one in particular, the Luke's Playhouse Wellness Center and Gym 200. Of course, we'll talk more about Luke's Playhouse that evening, but it is basically, as they put it to us last year, kind of a YMCA in the making almost for children with disabilities and limitations that need this kind of aqua aerobic therapy and whatnot to help them build muscle, what have you. Luke himself, Luke Rainwater, I don't want to use the word suffers, but lives with spina bifida. He uses these kinds of therapies, uses these kinds of things to help him in his daily life, and they are trying to give those same resources to kids like him who need that kind of help, need that kind of assistance, need that kind of therapy, and you can support that initiative directly by tuning in and donating to Luke's Playhouse on Wednesday, July 23rd, and then Thursday we head out to Sebring International Raceway with the North American Racing League on July 24th. Should be a lot of fun as we get a couple of races in with them. They've got Sebring, then Montreal, then Charlotte coming up. A lot of cool racetracks coming up for those GT3 cars, Zach, as we plunge into the end of July, and there's plenty of places to watch along.
Absolutely. PitStopTV.com, Facebook.com/PitStopTV, Instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, TikTok.com/PitStopTV1, Twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, YouTube.com/PitStopTV1, and X.com/PitStopTV_. So many great places to follow along with Pit Stop TV and so many awesome races coming up. I'm really, really, really excited for that Sunday race with the Major Series. I think it's going to be a really great broadcast. I think it's going to be a really great race. Those IRO5s put on some amazing racing. I cannot wait for it. Oh man, I'm just so excited.
It's definitely going to be a lot of fun on Sunday. I'm excited for it. We don't get many IndyCar races in general, so to have the Speedway 500 followed up by this race this Sunday, yes, I am over the moon for this one. Make sure to tune in for all these upcoming broadcasts here on Pit Stop TV in the coming days and week. Also, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it, Zach. Lucky performance, lucky break of the day. I'm going to give that straight up to Kyle Meyer. He missed a couple of crashes, advanced through the LCQ heat race. I don't think that one needs arguing.
No, I'm not going to argue with you on that one.
Fair enough. So, yeah, congratulations to Kyle Meyer, twofold. Wins the race and lucky performance, lucky break of the day, as he walks out of Langley with a big one. This has been the SARA Impel Motorsports National Tour. Thanks so much for tuning in. Before we go, of course, a big thank you to all the partners that help make this race possible. Of course, Throneburg Construction, the namesake of the Throneburg Construction Hampton Heat, along with, of course, Impel Motorsports, the namesake of the Impel Motorsports National Tour, and a big thank you to Whiplash Media here as well on Pit Stop TV. A big nod to all of our partners with the series, of course, All Pro Late Model Tour at the top of that list. There is the list. All Pro Late Model Tour, Cody Williams Design, Curry Bodie Motorsports, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Dylan Bates Racing, Fast AF Designs, Hyde's Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, Matthews Designs, 1-8 Coffee Company, 1-8 Racing Media, Patriot Media and Marketing Services, Pedley's Garage Incorporated, Pierce Fleet Service, RaceOneWraps.com, RJW21 Management, RS Under Trucking, SARA Next Gen Templates, SimWrapMarket.com, and Toxic Media Solutions, and the Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes. Thanks so much to all of them and our partners here at the channel, Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. Boy, I have worked my voice this evening. Zach, thank you for being here. Final thoughts.
Bring on Majors. I can't wait for it. I've been really excited about that race. I love that style of IndyCar. I hated that IndyCar kind of abandoned that chassis design, and I've really always been a fan of how the style of racing has been with it, so it's nice to see it preserved on the iRacing Sim, and I mean, moving out of this, I think it's a great segue. Moving from some short track racing on a closed circuit to on a closed quarter circuit, keep in mind that, to open wheel racing on an absolutely amazing road course facility. Homestead Miami Speedway has a great road course facility. It's known for its NASCAR battles and it's great oval racing, but it has a great road course facility. So I'm super excited that we're really segueing from a great race that we had tonight to an amazing race and course on Sunday.
I think you missed it. We're on the oval on Sunday.
Huh?
Yes, sir. We're on the oval. So, anyways, we'll talk about that later on. That'll do it for us this evening for Pit Stop TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you all next time here on the channel on Sunday for the Homestead Miami Speedway Oval with the IndyCars. We'll see you then.